There is a deep communication through the eyes of animals where language is not needed. I take their photos because I want others to see what I see when I look into their eyes. A presence that is profoundly beautiful, pure, and wise. I want others to sense the person who is looking back at you from behind those loving and joyful or frightened and pleading eyes. Photos are able to communicate what words often can't. I strive to capture depth and emotion in eyes and in their body language to encourage empathy and to understand that they, like us, are deeply emotional beings with the same capacity as we do to feel joy, love, and to suffer immensely. Since I was a child, I've been drawn to non-human animals. My earliest memory of awareness of their suffering was as a child playing in a park near my home and hearing what sounded like a baby crying in distress. I followed the cry to find a car parked in the hot summer sun in a neighbor's driveway. I looked inside the open trunk to find a baby lamb tied inside a burlap bag with just her head poking out. She was looking at me with panic in her eyes and bawling just like a human baby. I begged my mother to call the police. She tried to justify this to me by explaining that they would eat the lamb. But I would not accept this. It was difficult for me even then to understand those who dismissed suffering instead of trying to help or prevent it. I started documenting these animals because animal agriculture does everything in its power to hide them from us. They know that most people would be horrified if they learned the truth about what is happening inside those windowless walls. Most people won't intentionally look for this information, so my work is to bring it to them. Probably the investigation that left the deepest impression on me was my first inside a cow slaughterhouse. I watched as a terrified young steer was prodded into a rusty metal box, where he looked out from above at us with wide eyes. He must have understood I was there for him, because he suddenly tried to leap out of the box toward us. He leaned halfway out, his eyes wide and pleading for help, just a few feet away from my own. I looked into his eyes. I could feel his panic and desperation. No one could possibly deny what he was feeling or communicating. He was forced back into the box where he was shot with a bolt gun. That moment seared an imprint on my soul that changed my world. Many years later, I am back at that same slaughterhouse organizing vigils with better skills to photograph and document the violence and the victims in order to share with the public in hopes that it will open their hearts and minds too. I imagine our society's beliefs and attitudes towards these animals to be a giant spiderweb, carefully entwined by years of conditioning. We must be willing to untangle, strand by strand, layer by layer, our conditioned attitude of superiority to other animals, our belief that they are here for us. As author Henry Beston beautifully stated, they are not underlings, they are other nations, caught with ourselves in the net of life and time. I'm certain that future generations will look back at our inexcusable treatment of other animals we share this planet with and our blind acceptance of speciesism with great shame.